Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about why I chose OT, right? No, why OT chose me. That's more like it. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about how I became an OT, stay tuned and let's do it. So number one, and first and foremost, and I'm going to be speaking from my heart of hearts, and I'm just gonna come out with it. I didn't know what OT was. I had no idea what OT was. It wasn't something that I had envisioned, and it wasn't something that I was sure about when I started it. So I wanted to be a doctor, and I still want to be a doctor, but that was my only focus when I was younger. It was that, and I was so serious about it because I used to shadow doctors during my school holidays, and my family doctor, I always used to tell her, like, girl, I'm coming for you. And I didn't get accepted for medicine. So then I went back to my family doctor and I was like, okay, fine, they haven't accepted me for medicine. What do I do? And she's like, and I gave her options. I'm like, do I do physio? Do I do OT? I don't know what OT is. And she's like, she gave me a brief and a really like brief explanation of what occupational therapy was. And I was like, okay. So I did. That's how I became an OT. And a lot of occupational therapists, besides the ones that actually knew what occupational therapy is, they would tell you that occupational therapy chose them. And I think occupational therapy chooses you because it knows that you are such a good person and you can be able to actually do the line of work that it requires. So to cut a long story short though, why now am I such an advocate for occupational therapy is because I've seen how much it has changed me, and I'm so appreciative of how occupational therapy has really just transformed my life. I will be honest, I hated it. I hated it because I didn't understand it, and I hated it because occupational therapy makes you look at yourself in a different way. It makes you reflect on yourself whether you like it or not. Eventually, it gets to a point where you need to start understanding certain things about yourself, and you see those things in your clients as well, and you try and you help them. So you can't really be a therapist without having dealt with some of your issues. And you know, when you grow up and you think, this is normal, I don't have issues, this is just how things are, that is the problem. But occupational therapy picks out problems and makes you see that this is not as normal as you think it is. So it was just that difficulty of, you know, not wanting to accept that I have problems that made me kind of hate OT. But today I am a proud OT and I love OT, and I became an OT for a reason. It was to become a better person and to have better relationships. And if you can look at it in that way, like, OT is going to change your life. And that's why I pretty primarily started the channel. I wanted to speak to my South African girls because we literally, even with my friends, we hated OT so much. There's only one friend of mine who actually liked OT. But was it two friends? I think two friends of mine liked OT, but me and my other friend, we were just like, ugh. She wanted to be, what did she want to be? She wanted to do agriculture. She's gonna know that I'm speaking about her. She wanted to do agriculture and I wanted to do medicine. And the majority of us actually did want to do medicine, but there were actually just two friends of mine who were really sure about doing occupational therapy, and they actually helped me through occupational therapy. But on a serious note, when I look at occupational therapy and why it chose me, it was to help me become better. It was to change some of the views that I had growing up. When I grew up, I was very scared of people with disabilities. And I think I was one of the mean kids that, it's very hurting to even say this, that would actually make fun of people with disabilities. Because they grew up, you grow up and they are so different from you, and kids are mean, and it's really not an excuse, but so having come from that background and to actually advocate for occupational therapy right now, I think it was obviously God's purpose for me to come to the other side and actually have so much compassion, and I have so much respect for people with disabilities. Today I have learned so much. They are the most inspiring people, and they inspire me so much. Another thing is, it's quite a personal story that I feel I probably just have to share, and it's because my brother suffered from mental health issues, and it was very tough growing up with a brother with mental health issues. It was just one day he was like this, and the next day he just would never be the same, and his health deteriorated. So at a very early age, my mom and I, at a very early age for me, I was in and out of institutions, psychiatric institutions specifically. As the youngest child, I had to go everywhere with my mom, so I had to go and visit my brother in a psych institution. My brother was very, very sick, and there was a part of me that didn't understand. I didn't understand, but at the same time, I wanted to help my brother. I wanted to be able to help people like my brother. Sorry. So now, having to notice the amazing work of occupational therapists, and not really knowing if my brother had the opportunity to go to therapy, but he was very hard-headed, so I don't know if he even used to go to the groups, because as occupational therapists, we run groups in psychiatric institutions. We kind of try and make every client, no matter how low functioning they are, we try and involve them in groups, and we try and assist them. So OT became very personal to me, because of literally, I wanted to be able to help people like my brother. And I think that's why I was so and still am fascinated about psych, because it was something that was in my family that we never understood, and we didn't have ways in which we knew how to support him. My brother has since passed away, and may his soul rest in peace. But the reason why I am such an advocate for people with disabilities and mental health care issues is it's very personal, and only God could have steered I don't know, but only God could have brought me into that realization of what OT is actually going to mean to me one day. Another thing that made me, why OT chose me, is because there were certain things about myself that I had to deal with. there were certain things about my family and our patterns, and our general behavior, or there were certain things that had to be fixed and had to be zoomed in. And a girl from literally a township, I never really knew what OT was. I was never really exposed to occupational therapy, and I have been able to take what I've learned from OT, and I have bettered my relationship with my mom. I have a better relationship and an understanding of my other brothers, and just a better understanding of people in general. And it has truly made me very, very in tune with myself, and kind of figuring out what challenges other people are having and how best can we make that better for them. I didn't choose occupational therapy, and I actually had a friend who used to be like, I didn't choose occupational therapy. Occupational therapy chose me. And to be able to stand in that truth, and to be able to actually look at the full circle of how certain things come about that you really don't even have the slightest of comprehension how they come out. We really need to appreciate the fact that there is a higher purpose for us, and there is somebody who is aligning us to what we really and truly need to be doing. So as much as I did want to go left, I found that this is the right thing for me, and it's been one of the most transforming things I have ever done. I used to be like a person on Facebook who used to write these like deep captions, like in 2009 when I first got Facebook. And when I look back at all the things that I used to write, there was one caption that I had that I forgot what it says, but it was about how nice it is to help people who are unable to help themselves and cannot give you anything in return. And that has been my greatest satisfaction, to be able to get a client who comes to me and they have so many problems, and we sit down together and we look at them and we're like, okay, fine, we're going to tackle one thing at a time. And for them to come out on the other side to be like, you know what, there were certain things I couldn't do and now I'm doing, and I'm so grateful for you. That's it. Like, that's enough for me. And one of the aspects in which I never thought was my strengths was working with kids and working with psych patients. But one thing I can give to us about occupational therapy and occupational therapy in our context and in our country is that we are able to build the most amazing rapport with our clients. I'm not saying that the other group can't, but we are able to understand the culture. We're able to understand the things that our people are suffering from and how best we can help them. So I definitely advocate for occupational therapy. It is a degree that can change not only the person, but can change communities. And when you are able to understand your clients and you're able to make them see themselves in a different light, it brings so much satisfaction, and it makes your heart a little bit warm that you are actually making a difference in somebody else's life, and a difference that they will never forget. And my strongest suit that I never really thought was my strength is working with kids and children with disabilities specifically. They are challenging, but they are the most kindest, most innocent, most amazing kids that, you know, when you just look at them, like my day literally lights up when I'm around kids, and I'm actually helping them, do better and have fun. There's kids that are not able to play like we did. I mean, we used to run around in the streets playing all kinds of indigenous games. But they don't have that opportunity. And as a therapist, I'm able to kind of think, okay, how can I make a skipping activity so that everybody is able to enjoy? And that's the kind of thing that you need to be able to do as a therapist. Yes, maybe skipping is kind of stretching it a little, but it's about how are we engaging people who are different in normal activities so that they can feel the things and feel the fulfillment that we get to encounter on a daily basis. So occupational therapy chose me, and I know it chose a lot of you out there, and you're probably thinking, why, and what is this? Like, why do I need to do this? But you are an OT for a reason, and it's because you are able to impact change not only on people but on communities around you. So it's really a huge privilege to be an occupational therapist, and especially an occupational therapist in our communities where we are able to uplift and empower our people. It's so important. So if you are wondering why OT chose you, maybe just sit down and think about how much it has changed your life, or how it is going to change your life if you are going into occupational therapy. And don't be afraid to go in there and kind of figure out why God would send you into occupational therapy, or whatever field you are in. Try and figure out why God is leading you in that path, and I'm sure you will come up with the most amazing and beautiful revelation, and you can share that with us so that we can also know how you became what you became. It's not really a mistake, it is part of who we have been called to be. So yeah, that was a little bit emotional for me, just thinking about my past and everything that I've come through. And occupational therapy has been one of those things that has helped me not only become better, but find better friends and find things that are better for me to grow and become the best version of myself. And I'm still learning, and there's still a lot that needs to transform and transfigurate, but the journey so far has been so worth it. It has taught me a lot, and I appreciate everybody that I've met along the way and who have been of such great help in actualizing and helping me figure out my purpose. And this is especially my clients and my friends and my colleagues and everybody who I've been able to literally interact with. It has been the most amazing experience, and so that's the reason why I say OT chose me and I didn't choose it, but it is all worth it in the end. Share with me some of your stories of how you ended up working where you work, and let's just have fun in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry I was a little bit of a baby. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.